Let's take you back to one of our big stories unfolding at the Alexandra Magistrates Court. Phindi Mjonondwane speaks for the NPA. She's giving an impromptu briefing outside court. Let's listen in.
He faces a lengthy imprisonment term, which is an incentive for him to evade his trial, and as well as that the interest of justice does not permit his release on bail, considering that they are of danger to society, and they could temper or hamper with the ongoing investigation.
I mean, looking at the charges that he's facing, we know that when he comes back on the 18th of September, there's a centralization. Could you perhaps elaborate on what that means?
Yes, there is a process of centralizing all dockets. You would recall that the investigating officer, during his the presentation of the investigating officer's affidavit in court, the investigating officer mentioned that there are 7 dockets that are under investigations, 2 from Sandton, 2 from Pretoria, there's 1 in Vereeniging. So we are working on the application to centralize all these matters, and so that the prosecution team can then focus on the matter going forward.
And in terms of the strength of the state's case, do you believe that this bail judgment speaks to the fact that you do have overwhelming evidence against you?
As alluded to earlier on, that the evidence against the accused is overwhelming. We have substantiated our allegations as the prosecution in court by giving evidence of how they are linked to the alleged offences. Amongst them is WhatsApp messages between the accused 1 to 3 communicating with the applicant who was before court today and denied bail. The one that we are alleging that he is the middleman who facilitated the payments to the accused persons 1 to 3, whom we are alleging that they are the gunmen in all these dockets.
There's a history here in this matter of him going to the High Court to appeal bail. Are you ready this time around, given the fact that you've previously said you've complained about him being granted bail by the High Court on appeal?
Indeed, the investigating officer, through her affidavit, indicated in court that they've lodged a complaint with the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions in Gauteng North for the DPP to review the decision of the High Court to grant KT Molefe bail. So we will be led by the accused as to what step they want to take next, but should they approach the High Court, we are ready as the NPA to oppose such an application, because we believe that this court in its ruling, there was no error that the court made in terms of the law, and that this judgment actually seeks to promote the rule of law and also to promote the work done by the criminal justice system in its entirety.
Talk to us about the substance of that complaint. Do you believe that there was perhaps wrongdoing on the part of the prosecutor there, or is it other administrative issues? What is the complaint about in that bail appeal?
Well, you'd recall that the complaint is dealt with in another jurisdiction, one that is completely out of our control as the Gauteng division, specifically the Johannesburg office. However, we believe that it is in the capable hands of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions in the Gauteng North, and once they have evaluated all the evidential material that was led during the bail application stage and studied the judgment, they will be in a position to then determine what the next step will be.
What does it mean for the NPA to achieve this determination, and what to from here?
Well, today's ruling seeks to affirm the rule of law, much as we all enjoy the rights to freedom of movement as citizens of this country, as enshrined in the Constitution. But we know that all rights have limitations, and therefore where one is alleged to have committed serious offences like the ones that the accused is facing before court, then they have no right to be released into society. Society must be protected. Society depends on the criminal justice system for protection, and hence we welcome this decision as the NPA.
Thank you so much. That is
that was Phindi Mjonondwane speaks for the National Prosecuting Authority here in Gauteng, and more specifically in Johannesburg. She was reacting on the judgment by Magistrate Boshoff. You would remember that Magistrate Boshoff did mention that Katiso will not be granted bail, which means he will have to stay in custody up until his next appearance. I have to tell you, I understand that there was a heavy police presence inside at the Magistrate Court behind me. Even the investigating officers were protected by armed police officials inside at this Magistrate Court. As Phindi Mjonondwane said, Magistrate Boshoff did mention that Molefe is a threat to the witnesses, and he does understand that he is facing serious charges and he might evade a trial, saying that there are transactions of cash from him to certain individuals, saying that no, he does not deserve a bail. That was it from Magistrate Boshoff of the Alexandra Magistrate Court.
And Calvin, I know the next time that they have to appear in court, all the accused in this case will have to be together. Is that right?
Very close to the home.
Right, doesn't seem Calvin's able to hear us. That's certainly the information that seems to have emerged in this rather brief hearing from the Alexandra Magistrates Court. If you've just missed it, Katie Molefe being denied bail, and an impromptu briefing there from the NPA, where they've essentially outlined the next steps that are likely to be taken. We've heard so far that there's overwhelming evidence against Katie Molefe, including conversations, we're told, WhatsApp conversations, I beg your pardon. The NPA also saying that if need be, they're prepared to challenge any appeal from Katie Molefe's legal team if in fact that is in fact lodged through the legal processes. Of course, Katie Molefe has been arrested in connection with the killing of DJ Sumbody in Johannesburg. Oupa Sefoka is his real name. He was killed alongside his bodyguard, two of them, in fact, I should add. And his bail application started just about earlier this month and has, of course, culminated to this point. As you just heard there, Calvin Dludla is part of our team who's been watching this particular story. And Calvin, tell us a bit more about what the NPA said just a short while ago about this overwhelming evidence that they have against Katie Molefe.
Therefore, feels that he did not discharge the onus on him.
Yes, that was said by Phindi Mjonondwane. Phindi Mjonondwane speaks for the National Prosecuting Authority, saying that they do have overwhelming evidence against the accused, and saying that they are sure that they've got the right person here on the dock, saying that what happened today in court, or what was announced by Magistrate Boshoff, means that they do have substantial evidence for against this accused. I'm talking about Katiso Molefe. Breaking news, Katiso Molefe, the businessman, has been denied bail by Magistrate Boshoff of the Alexandra Magistrate Court. Phindi Mjonondwane saying that they had hoped, they did believe that Katiso will not be able to get bail. You would remember that he was out of on 100,000 bail when he allegedly committed this kind of crime, and as I have mentioned earlier, he was arrested in July this year. So Magistrate Boshoff did mention in court when he was delivering the bail judgment that Katiso Molefe knows very well that he is facing serious charges or serious allegations, and he might spend a lot of time in prison. So if he can be granted bail, he might evade this trial. What I have to tell you, Ayanda, is that he looked so sad, Ayanda, in disbelief when the magistrate delivered that bail judgment. He licked his lips, showing that he is not believing what the magistrate is saying. Even when he had to go back to the dock, he walked so slowly, looking at everyone that was inside the court, saying that he didn't want to talk to the media, but you would see that even when he walked slowly. He was ashamed. He looked so tired, Ayanda, and you would see that he didn't believe that Magistrate Boshoff will deny him bail.